There's a wonderful video game known as Sea of Stars that honestly I have no business loving as much as I do. But not only do I love it, but it's inspiring my gaming obsession. Let's talk about it. Let's go! Hey there, squad. It's your boy Sacred with the Sacred Art of Gaming, and here I am to guide you through our obsession of tabletop role playing. Today, we're going to be discussing a wonderful game known as Sea of Stars. You may be able to get it off of like PlayStation Plus or Game Pass, or pretty cheap. It's very reasonably priced. I can't get it out of my head, which means you get to hear about it. I think it's important to state that I have no business loving this game. You're about to hate me. I don't play Zelda. I thought I would love Breath of the Wild, and I did not. I've dabbled in some JRPGs. I enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake. I enjoyed Final Fantasy 16 and 15. I played Ys 8. I would love to play Fire Emblem. I've really just dabbled in the one that was on the DS. This is not the type of game that I have ever really loved. Not now, not even whenever it was popular. With that said, I had a feeling it would be getting removed from PlayStation Plus in the near future, so I was like, let me give this a shot as something that I can kind of determine is for me or not. Because something about the graphics, the 2D sprites, just kind of spoke to me. So this game has captivated me and inspired me and my TTRPG sessions in ways that I could not have imagined. So if you're a fan of epic storytelling, breathtaking visuals, and immersive storytelling, and immersive gameplay, you're in for a treat. Let's dive in. Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG made by Sabotage Studios. It's going to blend classic RPG elements with more modern mechanics. Kind of creates a new and unique, exciting experience that feels new and old, making it feel fresh. Story-wise, you've got two children that grow up and they're going to be like the solstice warriors, so you kind of have that like the chosen one thing, which is pretty neat. Not that that's the reason that I'm loving it. The world building is top notch and just beautifully crafted environments that just makes every location feel alive. I think one of the main things I need to note are like the puzzles, if you can even call it that, the puzzles and the exploration, which is definitely a pillar of TTRPGs, right? To say it's two-dimensional, they do an excellent job of making you really feel like you're organically finding stuff. And the moments where I felt lost were pretty few and far between. I enjoy a good puzzle, but like a puzzle that's just hard for no reason, I just don't love it. And even just like even Elden Ring, like just exploring aimlessly and not really knowing that I'm supposed to do this weird thing with the scythe that I never would have thought with the trap that pulls me up. That just doesn't really speak to me. But whenever they're able to make the user, the player, feel like they're organically figuring things out and it just feels natural, that's great. I enjoy that. So there's a lot of different ways to, you're not really platforming, but you can climb up rocks and climb up vines, and there's ladders and there's levers that you pull, and you eventually get some additional tools that allow you to get to areas that you couldn't have gotten to before in between your combat sections. And you pretty much have this, you go back and forth between like a little bit of exploring, a little bit of fighting, a little bit of exploring, a little bit of fighting. Every now and then you get a little fishing in, which is also solid. I think the main thing I'm really impressed by is the exploration, especially from a two-dimensional standpoint, and just the way everything looks and everything's super unique. You're going in water, you're going through tunnels, you're finding chests of stuff. I've really been digging it. I really have. And then we have the combat, turn-based combat, just like our TTRPGs, of course. You've got one main character that is kind of focused on like sun fire powers, and the other one's on like lunar powers. And there's different enemies that have similar JRPG stuff, right, where there's strengths and weaknesses to those two different types. There is the occasional other party members that you may or may not have, and they can kind of grow a little bit too. But the solstice warriors are the ones that you mainly have, and you get to choose which one your main is, but that really just changes who you walk around as in front, as opposed to behind, but whatever. But yeah, the combat's pretty sweet, and there's also like depending on the ability, sometimes you may hold a button or hit a button at the certain time, similar to like, Mario RPG games or even like the South Park games where you get a little extra something. Same thing with like blocking and parrying. There's a little bit of that to it that's not going to make or break your game, but it just adds a little something to pay attention to the fight. The monsters that you're fighting, it just feels interesting. I don't feel like I'm fighting the same nonsense that I fight in every other game. I'm not fighting like wolves, goblins, orcs, undead, zombies. Like it's not just that all the time. There's definitely some weird stuff in there that just mixes things up, and I'm digging it. And their abilities, although like, do you get a ton of abilities? No, you don't. But the combat, it's simple, but I stay engaged. I keep coming back for more. It's almost like it's hard to really put my finger on why I keep coming back to the same 4 abilities per character and fighting these monsters and stuff. There have been like some boss battles that have been really fun too. Those are obviously going to be the most challenging, and that of course, those also have kind of given me some ideas. I don't want to spoil anything, but like definitely has me thinking in terms of TTRPGs and almost like layer actions and stuff like that big boss monsters might have. And I think one of the things that surprised me the most about this game is that each character kind of has their own little character arc. Even the ones that aren't like main characters, they're actually fleshed out pretty well. Even like the most random NPCs, you can learn like a decent amount about them. And there's like a ghost that you meet, and then you learn about what the ghost was, and then the ghost kind of sticks around, and it's just really interesting to me that there's no voiceovers. You're reading all of this, and I'll be honest with you, I've become a sucker for the AAA gaming third person PlayStation style, where that is definitely the easiest thing for me to get into. Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War. It's hard not to love those games. Every now and then a game like this comes along and just really sucker punches me, takes me by surprise, and is just undeniably good to a point that it's hard for me to even say why I like it, other than I don't know what this flavor is that I'm experiencing, but God damn it, do I love it. There's some foreshadowing to some story beats that I feel like are delivered on pretty well. Yeah, the lore is solid, the story's solid. It opens up eventually in a way that I wouldn't have expected, and just kind of adds some additional mechanics that I enjoy, and just the puzzling and the combat, just really addicting. One thing I do want to note though, the leveling up system on paper, similar to Shadow Dark. I look at both of those leveling systems and I'm like, trash. Not for me. Why would I get excited about this? And having experienced both of those leveling up systems, which is essentially like, hey, you leveled up. Roll for, in the case of Shadow Dark, roll on your table of random things that you can get. Or in the case of Sea of Stars, here's like 5 random things that have been provided to you as options. Which ones do you want to choose? And they're not anything exciting compared to like 5th edition. They're kind of like more health or more attack power for physical or magic or whatever, magic defense, stuff like that. I have found myself enjoying it. Same thing with Shadow Dark, enjoying the being basically given limited choices and then just picking the best of what is available to me, and then just building my character out through that. I think it's just a charm. It's a charming ass game. I'm charmed. I'm charmed right now. And I think that's why I love Sea of Stars. I shouldn't, but I do. Sometimes you just can't deny how you feel. Those are my thoughts on Sea of Stars. What a great game. Have you played Sea of Stars? Has it inspired you in any way? Do you find yourself wanting to get to the table and roll those bones thinking of, Sea of Stars inspired games, Sea of Stars inspired abilities, Sea of Stars inspired leveling, the monsters, or just the general feel? Just want to capture that general feel of that sweet exploration. Or even just the music, my God. Even just playing that music in the background and just, I don't know. I feel like that's the closest I can get to like getting my Zelda on. I want to love Zelda. I do. Maybe I'll try like Link's Awakening or something. Maybe I'll like that. I don't know. So don't forget, great storytelling and immersive gameplay, immersive worlds, creative combat. That's really the heart of our hobby and video game hobby for that matter. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're digging the content and you want to see more stuff like this. This has been Sacred with Sacred Art of Gaming. Signing out.